up, everybody? Welcome into Just Talking Ball. It is Divisional Round of the NFL playoffs. I got Big Web with me, as always, here on JTB. If you guys are tuning in from TikTok or YouTube, you guys can get involved on the program by texting in live on either one of those platforms, or you can also go to the website fromthe50.com and leave a voicemail or leave us an email at fromthe50show@gmail.com. Probably going to be a shorter program today. I'm feeling it, Big Web. I know you're feeling it, just getting back from a trip. So we'll make this one short and sweet. And usually when I say that, we go longer than we usually do. So who knows? Maybe we'll go a full hour. We'll see what happens.
Right. No, it's good to be on, buddy. Good to be on. It's I've been out of town for 6 days, and home sweet home, baby.
Home sweet home, absolutely. We got a lot of games to talk about from, we can kind of go over last week quickly. I think it was one of the best weekends of football I've seen in a long time. I mean, every game, and I know there was less games, obviously, than there were in the regular season. But, I mean, every single game, I think besides one, mainly, until the end they kind of pulled away. Texans-Steelers was pretty crappy, but the rest of the games were electric. I mean, everything came down, I believe, to the fourth quarter, if not later in the fourth quarter, and it was just, you didn't know who was going to win, and that's kind of what I reiterated last week, was like, these teams are so close that I don't know what's going to happen, and sure enough, we had some good games, really good games.
Absolutely, yeah. It's parity in the NFL is gets more and more alive every week. It's a weekly thing. The teams get closer and closer together. But I was surprised. The Niners got past Philly. That was interesting to me.
That didn't shock me. I don't know why. I had them the whole way, and I didn't think it would be easy by any means. But Eagles were never the same. They never kind of panned out to me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, they and of course I was traveling in the mountainous areas. I was on a lot of these games I heard on radio the last week, but man, it, like you say, they were tight games. The Bills and the Jags, I mean, could have went either way. Philly game to me could have went either way. I was on Philly, obviously. You were on the Niners, but no, man, very tight. I think, like you say, the Texans game was a little more of a sleeper. And but the damn Bears, my God, again, one's cardiac.
It won't go away. I'm sitting there again when we get into the fourth quarter and it starts happening again. I go, they're hanging around. They might actually do this. And I got to tip my cap to Caleb Williams. That throw he had on 4th and 10. I don't know what the percentage is on completing a pass like that on a regular basis. I'd say maybe twice out of 10 times, maybe. When the one he rolls out to his left and he's fading away and he gets it to Odunze, he was getting chased down on that play too. 4th and 10, I mean, if that's incomplete, the game's over. They can't make it up because they're still down 2 scores at that time.
Sure.
And sure enough, they get there, they convert, they get the touchdown. And then the defense also did their job. Like, I don't know what Green Bay was doing, but they just stopped moving the ball. Golden scored a great touchdown late, and I was like, okay, there's the nail in the coffin. And Chicago just never stopped coming. And that's the thing, is I think at some point it's going to bite them in the ass, because as I predicted last week, again, they cannot play in the first half. I don't know what it is or what's said at halftime. Whatever they say at halftime should be said pregame, because they are two completely different teams, and it shows. It's crazy.
That's like this week. I mean, the Rams this week, if they get any chance at points, if they go for it 4th and 6 and not kick a goddamn field goal, in the beginning of the game, you got to take those threes and get as many points on the Bears as you can. So there's a situation that it just makes that mountain a little higher to climb in that fourth quarter for them, if they're going to do the same recipe and not do a damn thing in the first half. So
yeah, and we'll get to the games here in a second for this week, but I do have some takes on Bears Rams. I mean, the Rams have been my pick to make it to the Super Bowl for the NFC. I didn't like what I saw from them against Carolina last week. They should have lost the game, to be honest with you, but this is a situation where I listen to Big Web. You ever listen to the Insiders podcast at all, or watch the Insiders on NFL Network? Mike
I've
Florio
heard
and
it.
Rappaport,
Yep.
Pelissero, fantastic show. Florio basically was talking about the matchup that the Bears will have as far as outside the numbers, their receivers like DJ Moore and Odunze against the secondary for the Rams. You know, you got guys like Jalen Coker going off against the Rams, which, you know, nothing against Jalen Coker. He might have a good career, but he's not a superstar at this point. And they kind of did what they wanted to do as far as Carolina is concerned against the Rams secondary. And Caleb started to throw it a little bit. So, you know, I don't know if that says over Big Web. I don't know if that says over on Caleb's passing numbers. So you have that part of it. And the other side of it is the weather. I've heard, I don't know if there's snow coming or if it's just going to be cold, but the Rams, they don't play in the cold very often. They got really nice knit LA, beautiful stadium, warm temperatures. I will say, I think that scares me a little bit if I'm a Rams bettor. I'm not saying I'm taking the Bears right now, but I think there's some things that are interesting in this game. I'll just say that as far as leaning towards Chicago. So
The frigid temperatures, 0 degrees. That's one thing. I don't really think that's going to be a problem for the Rams. They're big boys. They'll come in and play, but it's wind. You know, if that wind is at we always say 20 to 25. If it gets up in that range, look out, because it's going to affect. Well, it'll affect both teams, but actually, I think it'll affect the Bears worse. I really do. I think the
really,
Rams are fine with the weather. Yeah, I do. I think they're, LA is just built different, man. They're a tough team. They got a lot of weapons, solid football players, solid balanced attack. I don't know that. I think Chicago's got to have this miracle air attack to compete. I think the Rams are more balanced. I'm not worried about the cold.
we'll see. I do think it plays a factor, just for if you're not used to playing in the cold. Not saying they can't handle it. Like, they're not going to be like bitches about it. It's more just how you play in specific type of weather or domes or whatever it may be. Chicago's a place I would not want to play on a regular basis. Like, if I was on the team, but if I came in from a warm climate coming to play, and someone from Chicago just said, "Hey, me from Chicago, it's 18 during the day and 10 at night." I mean, if it's that cold and you're not used to playing in those temperatures, yeah, it can change things. My whole thing was about how the Rams looked against the Panthers. Stafford, they say he's fine. I don't know what they've been putting him through over the week to get him ready, but I mean, the finger thing affected him so badly that he was like 3 for his next 11 throwing the ball. And they can say what they want and say he's full go. They might be full of shit. Maybe he is good to go, or they'll tape it or something. I don't really know. I also don't know if it was like a single finger. I thought it was like his right ring finger. But anyway, when I saw it happen, you could see him, his quarterbacks always shake their hand trying to like figure out what's going on with their hand. And he just wasn't the same. And when he's throwing the way he's throwing with that finger, they're a completely different team. And they can't run over Chicago. I don't think they will be able to do that. So I still think the Rams are going to win this game. I truly do. And that's not even me being a hater. It's just at some point the Bears only playing one half of football, or I mean, technically a quarter of football, is not going to pan out. They're going to lose early, but fuck it. I mean, the Packers are up 21-3, and here we are talking about the Bears moving on. They have, I mean, I don't know. They made a deal with the devil this year, Big Web. They have everything rolling at the right time. It's like they get to a point where everything has to go their way, and it does. And it's happened. What do they say? 7 wins they've had in the last, is it 4 minutes? It might even be less than that this season, which is an NFL record. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, then, when you have, first of all, on the finger thing, when you have a point, I heard it's just pointer finger. And when you're throwing a football, you can tape those two. You could tape these two together and still make something happen. So that's one thing. And then the balanced attack. But yeah, the Bears are destined right now. And I got them losing this week. I had them losing last week. I had them losing the week before. The those guys, we keep saying it. You guys can't wait to the second half. You can't do it again. This week they're going to wait to the second half. It's going to be too late. Well, how many weeks in a row have we said that? And I'm going to say it again this week. I absolutely going to say it again this week. You know, they got to get out to a better start. They got a good running game. They got a good passing attack. This tight end just keeps getting better and better every freaking game.
Yeah.
You know, the rookie. He had like 15 catches or something like that.
Yeah, Loveland. Loveland's been amazing. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So and that's what a championship team does. I mean, how many years have you seen a championship team and just some dude just emerge? It's like Puka in the past. You know what I mean? And guys like that just emerge, and it helps the team so much because you're not counting on this guy and he comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is what's crazy about it is how good that the Bears have been, and they haven't even hit their stride. And like you're talking to a Lions fan, like I'm not trying to like glaze. That's a common term, Big Web. It's kind of gross, but they call it glazing when you sit there and anyway, I'm glazing the Bears and I'm a Lions fan, and I can't stand them. I hope they lose, but you can't deny what you're seeing. I mean, like it's not sustainable. I think they know that of all people. I think it is also funny how they keep saying, well, us coming back in the fourth quarter, that's just us. I'm like, fine, you go ahead and let that be you because it's going to bite you in the ass at some point. I mean, if they win the Super Bowl and win all these games in the last 2 minutes, then it literally is like God's plan. Like, I'll just say it. It doesn't happen. I still am sitting here looking at the Final Four in the NFC thinking that they're probably – I guess they're the worst team, but they have home field advantage. They have the weather on their side. They have Stafford coming off, a hand injury, whatever they want to say about it. It's still his throwing hand, whether they tape it or not. It also can affect the way you hold the football, I'm sure.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things moving in this direction. And then, you got another spot here where we'll get into this game as well, but Saturday night, the Niners are playing the Seahawks, and your boy Sam Darnold is questionable. He's going to play, but he's banged up too. So if he's not in,
something.
Yeah, an oblique's tough injury. It can be at least.
No, I know, but I think they said he just felt a little something, so they're trying to be cautious about it, and there's not a whole lot there. He said there's a 0% chance he's out, so he should be fine. The key to that game is going to be pressure on him. The only time this guy. Oh, not the only time. We've seen him when he played for Carolina. When he gets a rush on him, he's a whole different quarterback, like a lot of guys. But they got to get pressure on Darnold. They absolutely got to get pressure on Darnold if they're going to have a shot.
Yeah,
I think because they're just too damn good on defense.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm breaking that game down, the Kittle injury is awful. I mean, I feel for the guy, first of all, because he's an older guy. He's been around for a while. And then I was having this kind of debate kind of with myself, just I kind of thought about it. But, what's a worse injury, an ACL or an Achilles? I feel like an Achilles, probably because it's not seen as often. I feel like we see all these ACLs every year, so they know how to fix them and how they heal. I feel like Achilles are so much more diminishing and just it might even be a longer recovery. I really don't know.
You're all over it. The ACL is more operable. It's more fixable. You're right.
Yeah.
The Achilles is not. I mean, it snaps differently and harder to repair, harder to recover from. Look, just think about how do you stretch your Achilles? Very hard thing to stretch and get back.
For sure.
So
yeah. I do think they can still win the game. San Francisco, I'm talking about in Seattle. Even if Darnold's healthy, the whole deal, I've been saying it since we started talking about the playoffs. I need to see Darnold do it in the playoffs to believe that they can make a run. I mean, my whole deal is I've seen it last year in big games, and Big Web made the argument that he did it in what is technically, it seemed like a playoff game against San Francisco a few weeks ago when they were deciding on who would be number one because of how good the NFC West teams were, and they destroyed them. I mean, they destroyed the Niners. I agree with that, and Darnold played a pretty good game. But here's what I think. If you put pressure on the guy, you're going to be able to, get in his head a little bit. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this offensive line's better. Maybe his weapons are better. The way the offense is set up, maybe he's used to it. I don't know. But all I know is I've seen him under pressure before in the playoffs. Hasn't worked out for him. The second thing, Big Web, I'm going to give it a little take here from Florio that I heard on the podcast too, from the Insiders podcast today. Seattle is the sixth highest team. I don't know how you want to say it, or gives up the sixth most receiving yards to running backs in the NFL. So the defense is very good, obviously, but sixth most receiving yards to running backs, which means Christian McCaffrey, even without Kittle there, obviously, and I think without him, he'll get even more opportunities through the air. He could have a big day. So maybe take him in receiving yards over Big Web, maybe receptions as well. But that's a prop bet I'd look at for sure as McCaffrey.
But I'm going to go back to the same thing I said, what was that, week 18? When Frisco needed that game, man. Frisco could have had home field from winning that football game. There was a ton of things going on, and they could not win the game. And they shut down McCaffrey. I mean, this defense is for real at Seattle. I mean, they shut down McCaffrey, receiving, running, everything. And so then we go into last week. And remember, I told you before the game, I said, if Philly can do the same thing and shut down McCaffrey, it's going to be another 13-3 ball game and a Philadelphia win. Well, they proved me wrong last week. Philly wasn't able to do it. Okay. So now they're back in Seattle, same scenario. Can they do it? Can they shut it down? Frisco all year long, and Shanahan is super achieved this year by having the injuries with Warner and everybody that they couldn't, they had key injuries. Kittle was gone for a big part of the year. Now he's out again, and they just keep winning and they stay in the division and they make the playoffs when it was like, okay, these guys aren't going to be there. You got the Rams, you got Seattle up top, and Frisco's just going to fade. We started saying that like week 5 or week 6, and he just kept finding ways to win with all the injuries and all the challenges. So it amazes me that Frisco's in the position they are. They're a talented, deep football team. But man, what do we always say? It's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
Not to mention 3 times, but God dang it. How many years have we seen defense win Super Bowls? And Seattle's that good on defense. It's going to be, you want to talk about an over under. My God, I think last time they played, it was 13-3. I don't see 35 points in this game. I really don't.
Ty says, Weber, blink at us if you're reading the chat. LOL. Yeah, sorry, we got into a little take there. We'll read your comments here momentarily. Just for reference, McCaffrey, 23 yards rushing on only 8 carries against Seattle, which that's one thing. Even if you're getting shut down, I mean, 8 carries for him is crazy. 6 receptions,
they gave
34
up on it early.
Right, but I mean, nothing else was working. So my whole thing is the Eagles did shut him down. I mean, he averaged 3.2 yards per carry in that playoff game. And Brock threw 2 interceptions, but he threw for 262. I mean, you're gonna have to find a way. I mean, here's the thing too. Kittle did get hurt early in that game. He only had 1 reception, so they still got it done without him. Meaning they can also do it without him against Seattle. To me, it's the coaching. A lot of times, if you have a team that's got talented playmakers on offense, especially. And I know, again, Kittle being out is tough. I know Warner being out. I don't know. I think he's practicing this week, but they don't know for sure if he's coming back. Bosa's been out for the whole season, basically. It's a different team than they've been before, but Shanahan's been there before. Mike McDonald and Sam Darnold have not. So I'm not saying it is a difference. I mean, the teams that have performed and know how to win in the playoffs, they simplify the game and they find a way. I'm not saying that the Niners are going to win. I did, Big Web, put a few shekels on them at 19-1 to win the Super Bowl, because why not? Wow. 19-1, that's pretty damn good for a team.
I'll tell you something. This is how close this year is, but if they get past this week, that's why I keep talking about the Bills. If they get past this week, they're going to be blah, blah, blah. But this week is huge. It's huge for the Niners. If the Niners would happen to win, look out. I think they jump up in favoritism big time.
For sure. And I think, if they know anybody, who do they know better than a division rival? I mean, they know those teams like the back of their hand. You know what I mean? They play them twice a year. And, I don't even know what happened in the first matchup. But regardless, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. 7.5, San Francisco plus 7.5. I think it's either 7.5 or just 7 on some books. that line is, I mean, I said it last week. Think about sprinkling money line. I got lucky, I guess, but I took 7.5, and there was no sweat on that 7.5 all day. So,
Yeah.
different team. Eagles are not the Seahawks this year, but 7.5 in the playoffs is crazy. Let me go ahead and read some of the chat here. Let's see. Jim says all you have to do is hit Stafford once in the hand, and he'll be crying in that cold weather. Yeah, I want to see how he looks with the hand. I mean, I've seen the guy even back when he was the Lions quarterback. He had that one drive against, I think it was Dallas back in like 2013 with that bum shoulder. His shoulder was basically like out of socket or something crazy. And he comes down and scores a game-winning touchdown, and then it hurts so bad, Big Web, he's holding his shoulder, and people are trying to give him high fives, and he's like doing one of these, like, don't touch me,
Yeah.
But it's the guy's a warrior, but at the same time, he's older, and you could see how much that injury affected him last game. He's had over a week to kind of figure it out, but it doesn't mean it's going to not affect him, especially in cold weather. So I am curious to see how that affects him early in that game.
TJ, just taking a look here. In week 1, San Francisco played Seattle, and you might be onto something here. He was rushing. He was 20. McCaffrey was 22 rushes for 69 yards on the ground, but in the air, he was 9 out of 10, 9 receptions out of 10 targets for another 73 yards. So had a pretty successful day catching passes too, for a total of about 140 something yards is what McCaffrey had in their week 1 matchup. So maybe you're onto something on that air attack.
Yeah. I was going to see what his receiving yards is at. So right now, Greenbook's got him 51 plus receiving yards is minus 111. That's his current odds there. And then 60 plus 143. Receptions wise, he, I believe, at 7 plus, which is a lot, is plus money. 6 plus is minus 174. So they're 6.5 must be the number. It's like right there.
Right. So and then last game of the year, they played him first game of the year, and they played very late in the year. McCaffrey had 8 rushes for 23 yards, and he had 6 catches for 34 yards. So they contained him about half as much on that last game. But the defense, I'll say this: Seattle's defense kind of gelled towards the middle of the year and really started playing football. So
was that first game Mac Jones or was that Brock? I'm just curious.
It was Brock.
It was Brock. Okay.
It was Brock. Yeah.
I know Brock. I mean, I know their offense relies on McCaffrey, but I didn't know if the storyline for Mac Jones going in there and utilizing one of the best running backs as much as possible, just dumping him the ball. You know what I mean? If that was part of that as well. So
first game, Purdy was 26 of 35 for 277 on that first go around there.
Telling you, so I think they're definitely. They should not be a touchdown favorite, Seattle, but they're a great team. I get it, and they're at home, and they've been a buzzsaw, and they also dominated Frisco in Week 18, and Kittle's out. I get it. It's the playoffs, though. I mean, people might have said that last week about Philly, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm taking the experience. They got most of their guys healthy, and on offense at least. I mean, I'm going to take the 7.5, and I mean they won a game, so I might roll with that again and see what happens. And then again, a team that's been in the Super Bowl twice in the last 6 years or whatever it's been, 19-1. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
TJ, just a little rundown on Seattle's defense, and I was incorrect. I said that they gelled towards the middle of the year. They've been consistent pretty much across the board. So reading back from this week. They gave up 3, they gave up 10, they gave up to the Rams. They gave up 38 for some reason, 37 for some reason on that Rams game. But the Colts is only 16. The Falcons were 9, Vikings were 0, Titans they gave up 24, Rams again they gave up. Rams are the only one putting up any points on them. Cardinals put up 22, Commanders 14. Everybody's in the teens. So this is a hell of a defense. It's tough game to handicap, but I think you might be onto something with McCaffrey. Maybe we'll look for a little much better contest that offensively, uh, you know, out of the Niners here.
Now, again, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to get you here, but some of those matchups too, like 26-0. It's impressive to shut out anybody in the NFL, but Minnesota didn't have J.J. McCarthy either. That was Max Brosmer, so he threw 4 picks. You know what I mean? That's one thing. They gave up 24 points to Tennessee. That is astounding. Atlanta's defense had a great pass rush, but they weren't strong all year. Indy's defense really struggled at some points this season. So I get it. I'm not saying they're not good. They've been one of, if not the best offenses in the NFL, but you got to look at some of the matchups. Like, I'm looking at Washington. I don't remember. Jaden Daniels did play. Okay, so they only gave up 14 points to Jaden Daniels and company, but Washington struggled all season long, even when he was in there. So what I'm saying is the schedule isn't that beefed up. I mean, their division was great. So they played San Francisco twice and the Rams twice. Incredible teams. But Carolina, we know that they had a fun little story at the end of the year. They should have won last week. I'll give it to them. But they weren't that strong. Indy showed they weren't that strong. Atlanta, not that strong. Minnesota, no. Tennessee, no. Arizona, no. Washington. So, that's all the teams from week 9 on that you're kind of like, eh. So they got the job done. It's not their fault they had a good schedule, but you have to perform, and they did. But that, to me, doesn't show that they can go win a Super Bowl. But that's just me. I could be wrong. And we'll find out, again, if the Niners have anything. If they go out there and mollywop them, as Zook would say, by 14 points or 20 points, then I'll shut up next time and tip my cap to Seattle. But until I see Sam Darnold do it, until I see them play, the Niners for the third time in a playoff game, it's just kind of is what it is. So
I'll say this on these guys. Think of this question: if these two teams switch quarterbacks, now who you taking?
If the Niners have Darnold and Purdy is on Seattle,
right?
It's an interesting question. God, I don't know. I don't understand the question.
How much are you putting on the ineptness of Darnold? If Darnold, we've seen Darnold do, even when he played with Minnesota, he'd be Superman for 5 weeks in a row, and then all of a sudden he fades back into the Carolina days.
Yeah, I mean it's a never going to happen question, but yes, I am basing it more on Darnold than I am on. I mean, if I also the hot take I could talk about later. I think Brock Purdy in another spot would not work out. I think he's a good system quarterback for Shanahan, and he's talented. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yes, it is based on Darnold, a lot of it. It's also based on Seattle just hasn't – it's the first year of this new version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what they are, and we know that they're a good team that can get it done against – I'm not saying all bad teams. They beat San Francisco. The Rams were close games. They're a good team, but to be a Super Bowl champion and make a run is a totally different story. They haven't been here in a long time, and Darnold, again, there's too many question marks for me to say, yeah, for sure the number one, 100%. They've earned it, and they did earn it, but as far as if they quote-unquote deserve it or have the talent to be number one, I'm not there. But
it's kind of crazy with these two teams because we both dig in, and this is about the second week we've been going at it on these two clubs, but I didn't like the Niners last week at all. Mm-hmm. I did not like them. I didn't think they were going to win that game, and here they are.
Yeah.
Seattle, I'm like, okay, they got all the weapons. The only little thing I'm worried about is Darnold being inaccurate and making stupid decisions.
Well, exactly. But that's who he is. That's who he is under pressure.
But when you look at their offense and you look at those two running backs that can get it done, if I was Seattle, I think I would play the most conservative freaking offense you can play. And I think if I was Frisco, I'd do the same thing. I would try to get. I would not go downfield. I would play the tightest freaking ball game, both of them. So whoever makes a mistake in this game is going to lose. Whoever gets a turnover in their own zone is going to lose. Points are going to be at a premium, and everything's going to be so freaking tight. I see this game just being, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up.
Yeah.
More than let's go get them,
See, and I haven't watched Seattle as close as I wanted to this year, but from what I saw, they are not a let's just kind of go with the flow type of team. They're a let's hit big shots to JSN or whoever else, and try to get the ball down there with Kenneth Walker and then Charbonnet inside the 5 or whatever. But they are kind of go for it offense. Now, on the other side of it, to me, this is where coaching comes into play. If San Francisco gets a quick early lead, Shanahan can control that game all fucking day. If they figured out what they did wrong in Week 18, they can get McCaffrey out there for fucking 5-6 yards of reception. That's all they need. They just want to dink and dunk all day if they get an early lead. So I just think it's too close to call as far as 7 points is crazy. I am
a lot of points. A lot of points in this game. I agree with that. I hate to show my age here, but I'm going to. When the Rams played, St. Louis Rams played Tampa in the NFC Championship here in St. Louis. What the hell year was that, TJ? 2000?
When they played who?
1999. Tampa in the championship to go to the Super Bowl. We played Tampa. Tampa had it was 2000. I think it was 2000.
Was that the first time when they won, or the second time when they lost to the
first time when they won?
Okay.
And TJ, Tampa had such a good defense. They were such a strong, solid defense. We couldn't run on them. We couldn't pass on them. They took all their safeties. They took all their corners, and they just put 8 in the box, and they just shut everything down. And I was at the ball game, and I'm screaming, you got to throw one down the goddamn field, whether you complete it or not.
Yeah.
And I went all the way down behind the bench, and I screamed it to Hannafin, the offensive line coach. And believe it or not, he looked up at me, and I'm not shitting. He looked up at me, and I'm screaming, you guys got to throw the ball downfield, even if you don't fucking complete it. And he looked right now. I was screaming. Usher's kind of taking me out of there. And sure enough, it was the same series, I think. We got a first down, and then now I'm not taking credit for the goddamn Super Bowl. I'm just saying they bombed it. They threw the bomb to Ricky Prohl, and they completed the damn thing and got there. But that was such a tight football game, and you let that defense smother you and bring everybody up into the box. And if you don't do anything to stretch it out, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You got to open that up.
Yeah. I mean, Big Web's saying he won the Rams a Super Bowl. I mean, that's good for him.
I did. And I got a lot of witnesses because my entire section was rooting for me. One of them is Nick Yale, two of Nick Yale's uncles. I got witnesses.
There you go.
But that's another story.
Yeah, I love it. We'll talk about the rest of these games. Let's go through some comments. I know we've kind of gone on a soapbox here. It's not usually our particular show, but no, not just you, me too. I have my own takes. Let's see. Been saying Broncos all year, my guy. Ty's a big Broncos fan. He thinks he knew they'd be here all along. We'll talk about that game here coming up, but tough one against the Bills this week. That'll be fun. DJ says, who's the next OC for the Lions? I really hope they get McDaniel. It's early. Arthur Smith is being interviewed. But by the way, that dude I thought was easy mid-50s, and I looked it up today, and he looks mid-50s on all pictures I saw. He's 43 years old, Big Web, Arthur Smith.
My God.
Ain't no way. I mean, he's only 12 years older than me. That's very hard to believe. The guy is a grandfather. There's no way. I mean, it's just
if he was a gallon of milk, I'd have thrown him away a long time ago.
I'm telling you, he's got the gray, flowing hair going on. The gray. I mean, you'd see this guy, and you'd say 43, my ass. It's No, I thought he could be my grandfather. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 43. I don't know. Check that. His application or something. I don't know. But yeah, McDaniel would be great. There's a rumor going around that he would actually be interested in a better offensive coordinator job than a lesser, a tough head coaching spot, I would say. That's a rumor on Twitter from some actual good sources that I can't remember, so it kind of takes away my credibility there. But overall, I think if he does not get a head coaching job, I truly think the Lions are the best OC job out there. Now, I think Philly's also available. I don't know what they're planning on doing. I know that Tampa is also looking for an OC. So there's some different spots, but I think it's a perfect fit. I'm obviously biased, but God, he'd be great. I don't want Kafka. I don't want Arthur Smith. Who else did they interview? Jake Peets, Big Web, passing game coordinator for Seattle, used to be, I think, under the McVay coaching tree in L.A. I wouldn't mind him. Don't know anything about him really, though. And then there's a couple others that have kind of floated around, but yeah.
Where's Dayball at? Is he doing anything?
It's a good question. I thought about that today. I haven't really looked him up in a while. There was a rumor a while back that he was getting the Penn State job. Obviously, that didn't happen. So I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know what his plan is.
Tally probably know. He wants him bad too up there.
Tally, if you're watching still on YouTube, let us know if you've heard from about Dayball at all.
Yeah, he wants to swap him out.
Yeah, he doesn't like his boy there in Buffalo right now. Let's see. Don't be afraid from Nix himself. Broncos are the overdogs. Keep counting us out. Who's counting out the Broncos? A lot of people? Because they're playing the Bills? Is that why? I feel like I haven't heard much about that.
It's very much like the Jaguar game, same thing. Bills could get beat this week. They're playing away from home. Denver's had a great year. So did the Jaguars, and I don't know. Now they come out with news today that there's 2 defensive backs out for Buffalo now.
Oh, is that right?
Poyer's one of them, and who's the other guy? Can't think of them right now, but there's 2 backs out now for Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that leads to the over also on that football game. But no, I mean Denver. I keep saying, I've said it for a while now. I've said it for 5 weeks. Denver's got a really good thing going. Sean is once again proven that he can make miracles happen. He's got himself a good quarterback, but I think they're a couple pieces away. But we'll see. But I think somehow, some way, Josh is going to make it happen out there. And it's you say, Big Web, come on, give me some facts. Let's see how they're going to do that. Well, they're just a gritty football team that seems to find a way to get it done. Hell, last week they got it done on the final drive. So,
yeah,
would I be surprised if Denver won a football game? Hell no. But, you talked about experience at the quarterback position and good coaching. McDermott's not been around forever, but I think he's been in enough tight football games that I think I'm thinking Buffalo's going to pull this one out again. But just like Jacksonville, I could have said, okay, I'm worried about this week. Well, yeah. I'm worried about this week too.
For sure. It feels like their year, but, anything can happen, obviously. And Denver's been a solid team and obviously the best team in the AFC throughout the regular season. The other guy you're thinking of is Maxwell Hairston, a cornerback. He is out. Reading here that McDermott told reporters Thursday that Hairston, he had an ankle injury, won't play in Saturday's divisional round matchup against the Broncos. There you go.
Yeah.
So Hairston. I did remember Tolly bitch about Hairston last week, so that makes sense.
But Poyer, I think Poyer's a little bit more prevalent player than Hairston, but they're both pretty damn good.
Poyer's just old, but yeah, I haven't paid attention to who's been having a better season, but both starters, obviously. So it definitely makes an impact, that's for sure, 100%. Let's see. 7.5, take it now. It's from Ty. I think he's talking about the Niners. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Someone else said Vegas knows, but they didn't know last week. I mean, 6.5. I took them up to 7.5. Didn't need it. So Vegas knows, whatever. I mean, it's not always the case. The playoffs, especially, you see how teams play. It doesn't mean they won't get screwed over by a call or they won't have a tough quarter or something. But you kind of know these teams so much, and when they got the best of the best, you usually have closer games. So 7.5 point spreads really do stick out.
One of the great things about the playoffs, and I'm talking about the brethren here, me, you, and 500 other people listening right now. We watch every game, we watch every week. In the postseason, go with your gut, because you've been watching these games. We've been kicked in the balls by these teams, and we've been loved by these teams throughout the year. You got to take all that experience that you've seen for yourself and go with your gut in the playoffs, man. Look at that and go, wait a minute. You look at that spread and immediately something comes to your mind on who you're going to go with, and that's what you do. Don't overthink it.
I agree with that. Ty says, we're finally talking about the Broncos. You guys doubted them in the beginning of the season. I don't think we doubted him. I had Kansas City winning the division. I think most of us did. Nick, I will give Nick credit. He did say Denver was going to win, I believe. He definitely said not the Chiefs. So I will give Nick credit, as I usually don't.
Yeah.
So.
And Ty's right on my part. I didn't necessarily give the Broncos all that much credit. I was pretty much on a Chiefs repeat, but no, hats off to Sean and the team out there to getting it done. And Denver's a traditional football town. They deserve it. I just think they're a couple of pieces away. That's all.
Let's see. I'll bet Big Web a 6-pack Denver wins. That's from Ty. Big Web, you want to bet a 6-pack with Ty? Bill, you get the Bills. He gets Denver. I'm guessing straight up.
All right. How about Zwickel Light?
All right.
No free ads.
Zwickel Light, no free ads there, Ty. There you go. Nice little 6-pack for Big Web. That sounds good. Billy Horror with his standard "What are we doing?" Is his first comment. I love that. Let's see. He goes, flat 7 is perfect, and they don't score a lot. Does that mean? Oh, someone's okay. So Brian also
talking
said
about the under and.
Well, he's talking about
the under and the Niners.
Niners spread. Yeah, it went down to 7. Someone put some juice on it. It's back to 7.5. All right. So it's bouncing back between 7.5 and 7, pretty much. That's what's going on.
Yep.
All right. What else? What have we not talked about? So Bills Broncos. Since we're not going to actually pick that one on Sunday, we can kind of pick it here. Big Web, you taking Bills by themselves?
Yeah. What's that spread there?
I had 1.5 at the beginning of the week, but let me double check. Green Book. I write the spreads up on like Monday, so it's a little early. Yeah, it's still 1.5. Denver minus 1.5. So Bills are now underdogs. It's actually flipped a full. It flipped the other way because originally the Bills were the favorites.
Guys, last week against the Jaguars, I got the exact same feel as I did with the Jaguars. Last time I took the Bills plus 7.5. Did not need it. I'm going to take the Bills plus 7.5 again because that's how nervous I am about the football game.
Money line bet. Bills minus 105, Denver minus 115. That's how close it is. And then over under Big Web all the way down to 45.5 on Green Book. 45.5 if you like that.
This one's going over. This one's absolutely going over.
Kind of agree with you.
I'll buy that. I'll chicken out and buy that down too.
Well, because exactly what we were talking about. The Bills defense has been Swiss cheese at times. Number one, so Denver should be able to move the ball. Number two. You know how it feels like a guy like Josh Allen's going to have to answer over and over. So, and you think he will. Like, I could see this being a shootout for a bit, which makes me think 45.5 is not bad, and especially when we can tease it down to close to 40. Love that.
Sure. Yeah. No doubt about it. I'd take it down. Take it around that 40, 41.5, right in there. I think you got something.
Niners, Seahawks on Saturday. So you're going with Seattle. Are you going to tease them down a bit? Or are you taking them? Where are you taking them at?
Well, you guys, you and Billy and everybody tonight are selling me on the Niners with points. I think I'm going to be. I want to buy Seattle down. But I'm probably going to buy Frisco up. I'm probably going to buy Frisco up to 10.5 or something like that.
I think it's a good play. I do. I'm going to look at the public splits on it. I'm going to go to my handy dandy site here and see what it's at. But I'd imagine the public's on it, so that might scare me a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe Seattle's getting the public money. I just think that hook is going to scare people away. But I will say Green Book has gone down to 7 on the dot, so maybe more money is coming in on that.
One more tactical thought here is how is Shanahan? The key to the game is to put more pressure on Darnold. How does he accomplish that? How does he get more? Does he just fucking blitz more and just go balls to the wall and gamble more? Is that how he does it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to send different pressure on different spot and different sides. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
He's done that.
Well, his two top guys are not, or at least one of them for sure is not playing.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
But it hasn't stopped them, was what I'm saying. But yeah, if they just kind of let Darnold sit back and do what he wants. I mean, they only had 1 sack last week against Philly, and that's without Lane Johnson. So that's not great to see. And it's weird. It's almost like they played fine on defense, but they didn't do anything spectacular. I mean, Saquon had over 100 yards rushing, and let me see, passing wise, Jalen didn't have a good day, so maybe that's what it was. They just were so good in coverage, but I mean they only got one sack, so that is. But if you scout Darnold, you know that you have to send pressure against him. So it that's what I'm saying. It could go ugly. It could be Seattle all day. I don't see it. I don't see it. But I'm with you. I don't know who's rushing. I don't know who's going to be their top guy rushing right now.
Yeah, no, they've had trouble, and somehow they've made it happen this year on getting pressure. So, Shanahan's such a good coach. He's got a team that finds a way. They find a way. So I'm going a lot of guts. Like I said earlier, I'm going with a lot of gut stuff. And Frisco with points, more points is kind of my gut on this one at the moment. I think Seattle's got the better roster. I think their running backs are for real. It's up to Darnold getting them the ball without being stupid. And I'd rather take Shanahan than Darnold on the points. So I think Seattle's going to win the game. I really do. I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if they come out and I mean, put it on them, now we got a different conversation. But you did see, that game in Week 18. I can't remember Darnold's stat line, but I mean, Seattle only won 13-3. Darnold he went 20-26, 198 through the air, no touchdowns, no interceptions, got sacked twice. It's weird though. Like no one kind of went off. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of.
That's what they need. That's
right.
What he needs is a boring ass football game. I guarantee you those coaches are look, Sam, you'll be a hero in another game. This is quiet. Let our defense win this game. Let's get a mistake by the Niners. Let's not be the first team to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's the lesson. I think that's where they got him going. They got that recipe going, and that's where this is, man. As exciting as we want football to be, this is going to be a boring motherfucker. Right?
Probably is. That's why I feel even better about 7.5 in that spot.
That's why I do too. That's really the main reason why I do. It's because of that.
For sure. Last thing I'll say about this game: Seattle did go 0 for 3 in the red zone in that game. They had 23 first downs to 9 in that one in Week 18. They were pretty decent on third down efficiency. I'd say 6-13, a little below 50. I guess not great, but okay. Had a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't score. That's pretty much what it was. I mean, they were driving at will. They just couldn't score. So, and what I'm saying is they won the game, but it wasn't impressive. So take that with what you will there. I mean, I think it's so even and closer than people think. That's why I like the 7.5. And I know we've been talking about this game like we're blue in the face talking about this game, but I think it's important for sure.
We got a good breakdown, and I think we're on it. I think we're on it. We know the keys to the game, and we'll see how it plays out. But I think we're on the right sides of this boring ass football game.
Chris in 702 says Seattle at home off a bye week. Good luck with that. Good luck with Sam Darnold under pressure in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say. Like if he comes out and throws for 303 touchdowns, I'll eat my hat. Not really, but like I don't think it's going to happen. But if he does, then I'll eat the shit. I will. I've seen it. I'll say it for the 100th time. Last year, Week 18 against the Lions, massive game for number 1 seed. He crumbled. Then in the wild card round, he crumbled again. So here we are again. Great season for the Seahawks. Possibly, I don't think statistically he had a better season than he did last year, but as far as the team is set, I think they're a better team than that Minnesota team was last season. But you got him again, number 1 seed, home game against a division rival you're playing for the 3rd time this season. Go out and fucking prove it. But I haven't seen it yet. Tell me one thing Sam Darnold's done in the playoffs. Exactly. So I'm waiting. And if he does it, then I'll tip my cap. But until that happens, you can't say shit about that. That's all I'll say. And I am passionate about it because, listen, I watched the guy play Week 18 against the Lions last year, and it was very simple. Rush him with everything you got, and he doesn't handle it. I'm not saying he hasn't been blitzed all year, but when the pressure's on and it's a must-win game, I'm just saying, I don't know if he's the guy. So I'll leave it there.
No,
Um,
and
you know,
that is, and this will be the last thing on this game. That's what that's what I think Shanahan's going to do. They're going to bring the kitchen sink, and that's their only way to get more of a blitz in there. Instead of sending specific packages here and here, I think you're going to see these Tampa blitz all kind of go for it, especially if they get behind and they got to force a mistake. You watch, they're going to do some all out blitzes and make it go that way. Who's the ball defensive coordinator or whatever used to coach the Jets?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm
Anyway,
not sure who you're
anyway.
talking about. But oh, for the
Yeah,
San Francisco, you're talking about Salah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Solid,
Seattle.
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't name Seattle's D coordinator. I really don't know. But
No, but Salah's going to be he's going to be dialing it up if they get behind. So
yeah,
anyway,
should be a fun one. And then we'll talk about our picks on Sunday for the other two. But we'll real quick, Big Web. We talked about thoughts on Rams Bears. Any thoughts on Texans Patriots at the moment?
that's the one I'm going kind of round and round about. TJ, I think I love the Texans defense. I love what they stand for, but obviously like Drake May better than I like CJ Stroud right now as far as quality of play and where he's coming from, and that whole team in general up there as far as how they put together their offense and share the ball, et cetera, et cetera. So but this Houston defense is for real. So that one's got me going back and forth. But the weakest unit on Houston is the offense, and I think the weakest unit on the field is Houston's offense. So
Yeah. I'm with you. I was really hoping because I put a Patriots bet in for Super Bowl as well. So I have one on the NFC side, one on the AFC side, which would be fun to root, especially if they get close to it to both conference championships. I mean, if the Patriots would have played the Steelers, I think they'd beat them by 30. To be honest with you, I think that would have happened. So I was really rooting for that. But the Texans defense obviously scares me. But I'm with you. I do think that Stroud is just also not a great playoff quarterback at this point. I see the Patriots winning it. I don't know how the game's going to go, how the score will be. It might be a 3-point game. I don't really love it for a play. I might just bet the Patriots money line. I think they're 3-point favorites right now, so they're minus 170 money line. Might throw them in a parlay, but as far as that goes, I might stay away from that game and just root for them to win. You know what I mean, for my future bet. But
one thing that is huge on a lot of playoff games is home team. Home team is huge. Obviously, in Seattle, it is with the 12th man, and the Patriots. They're used to being there. They draw super up there. The Broncos having that advantage at home is going to be tough on the Bills and the Bears, including the weather, the home field screaming is going to be tough on the Rams. I think the worst home field is probably the Bears of all of them, but I think the Patriots.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Well,
about
I'm just saying. It's not. How should I say this? It's sure. They're dedicated fans. They've been losing forever. They're looking for something to root for. They're screaming, and they go all out. They go all out in all temperatures and make it happen up there. It's just that their team is. It goes back to football. Their team has gotten off to a terrible start, game after game after game.
Yeah, so, no, I thought you were talking about home field advantage. I think it's all very even. I think all four are going to be rock and rolling. I mean, Chicago was crazy last week, and now they finally got a win under the belt. They think they can make a run. The weather, the whole deal. So we'll see. I think it'll be fun. What I had one more thing for you, and I forgot what I was going to say. Something about the Patriots, maybe. You think the under is a play in that game? I mean, it's going to be a tough one. It's 40.5 on green right now, which is very low. But if you think, number one, Texans just haven't had a run game, I feel like. Like, Woody Marks has been like, like here and there. And then the Patriots, if you think they're going to struggle against that pass rush, I mean, I like the under, but the 40.5 number, that's why Vegas puts it where it is. That's going to be a tough one to root for.
No, I said earlier in the week that I thought the Bills Broncos would be an overcall there, and the Rams Bears would be an overcall. and the other two, Niners Seahawks and under, Texans Patriots and under. Uh, with saying the Texas Patriots, though, I like the 49ers Seahawks under, obviously, with all the discussion we had about those how tight that game's going to be. I think that's going to be an under. But the probably the most questionable one on over and under is Texans Patriots because the Patriots can get it done so with so many different ways. That one's a little scary for an under there to me, uh, because I think Texans are going to be able to score some up there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but the other three I feel confident on that the other two are going to go over, and the Seahawks are going to go under. Texas Patriots, I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll talk about Big Web's best bet coming up Sunday during the Sunday show with all the boys on the program. Last week, the Unfaithful does hit Big Web. We hit the plus 390 on ours. So there we go. Finally got one on the board. You missed just one. You had Philly money line. There was a chance that we could have hit both, and San Francisco ended up winning the game. We had 7.5, plus 7.5 on Frisco. But yeah, other than that, it was 3 or 4. It was close.
That was a late touchdown too, wasn't it, in that game?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I do not remember, but I'll look it up. If it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it was a close enough game. I felt comfortable with San Francisco, and I didn't think they'd win the game, and it was they got it done. And then Philly fans went their OC fired the season after they won the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't even making the playoffs isn't good enough for Philly fans. You got to win them all. So. Trying to think. Oh, last thing we did.
304 left. Purdy touchdown.
Yeah,
it was the last score. So yeah, pretty late touchdown.
Oh, it's to McCaffrey. That's right. It cashed a bet for me, or continued my bet, I would say, till Sunday night. Last thing I'm going to bring up, we talked about it off air, but not on air. John Harbaugh becoming the Giants head coach, first domino to fall in the head coaching carousel. What's your initial thoughts on that?
Great fit for both sides. I think John's walking into something. He got himself a 5-year deal. He got $100 million, and he kind of fits the mold up there. The old Parcells mold up there for the Giants. The Giants have a lot of weapons, like we talked offline today. Without whatchamadiggler, the quarterback coming in and making a presence, I don't know that he'd be there. But hell of a fit. I think he's going to make things happen up there.
Yeah, I think he was the number one head coaching candidate by far. And I was saying, too, the Giants, there's so many head coaching opportunities. This is one of the years I can't believe how many big jobs are now opening up. Obviously, the Ravens, he wasn't going to get that one. He got fired from there. But Pittsburgh is hanging around still. I think that's a crazy one for sure. I think Atlanta is interesting. They got a lot of talent there. But I said the Giants, with the emergence of Dart, Malik Neighbors hopefully coming back strong from his ACL stuff going on. They just drafted Abdul Carter, top 5 last year, so they got decent rush, him, Brian Burns. And then they have another top 5 pick this year, and then Cam Scattaboo. There's a lot of stuff going on there in New York, and I think it starts with a franchise quarterback. And according to Rappaport today on NFL Network, Dart was part of the meetings when they had Harbaugh in. Dart actually came in and was pitching him. And I think that says a lot.
Selfie with him or something.
Yeah. I think the Giants wanted him bad, and I think he saw that, and he wanted to hear from Dart, and I guess he liked what he heard. And you can't deny the tape you've seen from him. If the kid is just smart with his injury status throughout his career, he's going to be dangerous, really good.
I think John can. He's got experience doing that with Lamar. I think whether it's working or not with Lamar, he's got experience on calming a guy down that's Superman like that. So
yeah,
no, I think it's a great fit up there. One thing on Pittsburgh, I was in Pittsburgh this week, and media outlets and talk radio and stuff like that, they're all pretty much wishing each other well. It's kind of like the vibe you got though was it's time. We don't know what was discussed behind the scenes. Like you're going to go ahead and resign, but if you don't resign, you're gone anyway, kind of thing. I'm not making up rumors. That's just a vibe I was getting like that. It was kind of like the vibe in Pittsburgh I got this week that it's time. great run. We're happy where you got us. Now it's time to do something different.
See, and I did hear the owner talk today, and it sounded like it was completely opposite of that, to be honest with you. Like it was,
Really?
yeah. So apparently the owner was kind of like shocked by it. So Tomlin came in, basically said, "I'm done." Said it had to do with like more family time, I believe. And he told the team right after. And then apparently the owner was like, I was kind of ready for like another year with Mike, like to see where it goes kind of thing. And
Right.
that's where he expected the conversation to go. And it didn't go that way. So that was Art Rooney talking about that. So yeah, it was all Tomlin, according to Art Rooney. And I don't know how they're trying to spin it, but I don't think he'd lie.
The Rooney family has always been, what do they call them? The patient Pittsburgh. Like they're let's give them another year. Let's do this and this, and as long as they're winning and they got butts in the seats, I got a huge tradition up there. I see it. I see, we got a good coach. He's hasn't had a losing record in forever. We got people, we're in contention every year. Let's just don't mess with that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of their thing up there. But that's interesting because we were getting a whole different vibe.
Yeah. How would you like to be, a head coaching candidate right now? You would love to be in Pittsburgh. They've had, 3 coaches since 1968 or something like that? Or 4 coaches, whatever it was. It's a perfect spot to be if you understand, like if you perform and they like you as part of the franchise, you're going to be around as long as you want to be. But again, there's also pressure because I think it was time because Tomlin was a great coach. I think everybody likes him. Like I just like the guy's demeanor. I think he seems like a good dude. But it's the whole story about it. He's going to get over 500 and he's going to sneak into the playoffs and they're going to lose first round. Like, when is it enough? We know it as best with Cardinals, as the Cardinal fans over the last 8 years has been kind of that formula: get in, get bounced early. It's not like we expect them to make a run, and we missed that. Now we're doing a full rebuild, but that's where I think Steelers fans kind of have been.
Yeah, I was in a bar Monday night in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Steelers fans in there, and they're the same thing when they were losing that football game. 8th year in a row, 1 and out in the playoffs. God damn right, we got to get ourselves a coach in here. I think it's just kind of like, and it's like kind of like St. Louis Cardinal baseball fans. You're used to winning, like being a Yankee fan. You're used to winning. You're used to a level of play. They don't care. Oh, we made the playoffs. Good. That's what we do all the time. Now let's get further. Let's advance. Give me 2 playoff games. Give me 3. So I think that's kind of what they're looking for over there. But a new coach going in there, pressure. For sure.
But it's a great franchise and be a good spot for them. Last thing I'll bring up, and I know here we are over an hour. I knew this would happen, but that's what we do. We're talking about what we like. Did you hear what the Ravens coach or the Ravens owner had to say about Harbaugh in particular, and then what he said about Lamar having say for the next for the next head coaching hire, I guess?
No, I didn't hear any of that.
So the reporter asked the owner of the Ravens, I don't know his name, basically if Harbaugh would have won Week 18 against the Steelers and would have gone to the playoffs, would he have been safe, going forward? And the owner says, for a week. That's what he said. So I think the writing was on the wall for John, unless he I don't know if AFC Championship would have been enough, but from what it sounded like was for a week he would have been the coach still. So I think there was I don't know what the story is there, but I think if he doesn't get to at least the AFC Championship, he would have been canned anyway. So
Steve Biscotti, they say.
Steve Biscotti. That's it. And then he was asked about, will Lamar have some input on the head coaching decision? And he goes, he'll have input, but no power. I have all the power. This guy's kind of a piece of work, this guy. You get a vibe he's kind of like the old money, old ass, I got the money, I make the decisions type of bullshit.
Sound like Jerry Jones.
Right.
There, yeah.
But he just comes off as kind of a prick. I don't know the guy, whatever, but, when you say that about Harbaugh, who's been there forever, should have earned respect by now, and you kind of say that, and then Lamar is your franchise quarterback who you've given hundreds of millions to, and you say that, I'm like, don't really like the guy. But
There's a little bit better way to say something like that.
yeah, for sure. I mean, but anyway, he's just kind of like, I have the power. It's my team type of bullshit, and maybe I read it wrong, but it's kind of what it sounded like. So anyway. All right, man. Great discussions as always. I think, we had a lot to talk about. This coaching carousel stuff is super fun to bounce back and forth on, and then obviously playoffs and all that. So appreciate everybody tuning in here on TikTok and on YouTube. Make sure you join us on Sundays for the Sunday kickoff show with me and Big Web, Nick, Tolly, and Zook as we break down all the games. We've been doing it since 2018, and we're going through Super Bowl. Obviously, we'll also have off-season content as well and continuing the football conversation all year long. So thank you, guys. Make sure you subscribe here on TikTok if you're listening or on YouTube if you're watching for the first time. We appreciate it. Big Web, any last-minute thoughts?
Enjoyed it, buddy. Very fun. As always, we'll see you Sunday.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you on Sunday for Divisional Round, for the final 2 games of the Divisional Round. Have a good weekend. See you soon.